Yes, colleagues, co-workers. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Friends from Work. My name is Al Jackson, but y'all already know that. I'm the one using the worst camera in the business. Tori, I got my expensive camera all queued up and it's not, so now I just look like I do tours about the first black gator trainers in South Florida. It's like they're trying to cover up our legacy. It's not all Tiger King. There's some black folks that abuse animals too. I am joined by Tori Shulman and colleagues. I want you guys to give a big welcome to one of my first friends in comedy, my girl Lisa Correa. How are you, my dear?
Oh my gosh, I am so good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this is great. First of all, you look like you are in the most eclectic place. Where are you? Where are you right now?
I am. I'm in New York right now. I'm in Brooklyn, in Bushwick.
Shout
So
out.
it is pretty eclectic here, as you know, at one of my best friends' homes, who always puts me up here when I'm visiting New York.
Oh, all right. That sounds like an arrangement I'll ask about off camera. He's a rich businessman. I have to sign an NDA, whatever.
It is a woman. Her name is Bob, though. So
Yeah, okay. Sure. As her testimony falls apart in court.
Oh my God. Julia says you look like a Jungle Cruise leader, and I really believe that. I really believe that. Like, you look like you're in the Disneyland. You're like, folks, who's scared a little bit of snakes? Let's go.
The same tired jokes. All right, parents, if your kids aren't acting right, we're going to throw them in the gator pit. Anyway, we're going to get some lunch. God, I look ridiculous. But yes,
that's okay. I love Cowboy Curtis. So
there we go. Yes, and Lisa, you should know my mom. She got remarried to such an incredibly wonderful man that when I met him, I was like, "What is your deal?" Like he's like one of those fake Hallmark men that like the New York City chick meets when she goes back for the holidays. Where I'm like, that's how Montez is, and this is Montez's hat. So
yes.
he's a true South Carolinian to his bones.
Legit. Yeah, that's definitely a romance novel hat. I love it.
It is. Where I'm just like, maybe you shouldn't go back to the city, ma'am. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. So Lisa, everybody, I've talked about you many times on this show, and I just want to tell the colleagues, anytime that I've talked about what I know for a fact, at least the women in comedy that started when I did what they went through to get to where we are now, where, Lisa, I did the Dania Beach Improv this week, and I asked the server, I was like, "Oh, do you guys hang out after the show?" And he goes, "No." Like it's such a different culture. And like we grew up in a period where it's like the manager thinks you're cute and wants you, like, just we came up. So like, how are you not scarred? How are you still Lisa after coming through the craziness fire that was the early 2000s comedy scene in South Florida?
I feel like we're in the golden era now. Everything is so great and people are so nice and respectful. And I am scarred, I flinch a little bit still, I'm ready to get cornered in a green room and defend myself,
Yeah.
But it makes me look back at all the people who were not creeps, people I could rely on, people like you. Believe it or not, everyone, Al was not a creep.
I don't know if I like how you prefaced that. You could have just taken the first part of that sentence out, no matter what his record says.
So funny.
It's true, though. It's true. You really rely as a woman starting out, especially, when you're new, you're like a fresh meat,
Yeah.
people would say it, because we're just like, oh my God, we're so excited to be in comedy. And someone who was like me, like such a people pleaser and so nice, it's just like I was a target, man. So I learned a lot of hard lessons. And so now it's like people are like afraid, I think, of the Me Too movement. So they're like doubly respectful. And I'm like, this is so great.
Lisa, I don't know if you remember, just to kind of illustrate Tortor what was going on at this time. Like, I don't know if it was 10 or 15 years ago, I had the idea on a plane, and this is what was considered normal back then. I text Lisa and I was like, you should make a coffee table book of all the D picks that comics have sent you? And she wasn't like, what? Or I don't have enough. She was like, oh, like it was just, that's how many, that's the volume of
I remember us talking about that because I said it would be kind of funny to post them with just their TV credits underneath and people could guess.
That is so good. That is so good. Yeah, I came up in comedy like in 2014, 15, 16. And I was told like if Louis C.K. ever drops in, do not be alone in the green room. And I was like, got it.
Really?
Yeah, they were like, just find another way out. Like just figure out another way. But so
wow.
I'm very happy now that things are a little bit.
That's so nice. Tori, you had people who told you that. That is amazing.
Yeah. Lisa would get that call while he's in the car and she's dropping him off at his hotel. He's like, I got a bum knee. Can you help me carry this bag? Yeah, it's before we get started, because we have a lot to discuss today. Lisa, I was trying to think of a story that would really like show the colleagues like how far we go back. And I kept thinking about that private gig that we did, that holiday party. So can you talk to them about Coffee Pot?
Okay.
Because I will set this up. We came up in the holiday period, Tori, where there would be like, you would do like, you're going to do, J&J Photography's holiday party. And they would be all week, they'd be emailing you, okay, make fun of Tori. She always wears a burgundy sweatshirt. Make fun of that. Michael Dean's husband, he's a bit of a drinker, so make sure. And so we're getting all these. So like they always give you these prompts to like make the crowd laugh. There. So Lisa, I'll give it to you.
Inside information, right?
Yeah.
And they were giving me some inside information. You got to correct me if I'm wrong on some of these details, but they were telling us about someone who broke the coffee machine.
Yes,
and
they told us both on separate occasions, bring the coffee machine up because somebody broke the coffee machine and no one will take credit. And so they were like, that was shoved down our throats. Like, that's going to be your winner.
Yeah, like it's a whole thing. So that's kind of a thing you put in your back pocket, right? So, and this was on a rooftop, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was on a rooftop in Miami. Great for comedy after an open bar. Yeah,
where there's a lot of wind.
Yeah, and there was wind. Yeah,
where the wind takes away your punchline.
It was
just a strong gust will just take anything away, any momentum you might try to get. I just remember I was struggling, and I thought it's time to bring out the coffee pot joke. They prepped us for this. We trained for this. Okay. I go, you're looking at me like I'm the one who broke the coffee pot, which is a great line.
Great line.
Nothing except for Al dying in the back.
I was like, I think I had already bombed. So I'm like already drinking the paint, and I go, oh, Lisa's pulling the chute. She's going to, and it just got nothing.
You said to me, it was like watching someone pull the emergency chute and nothing but a PlayStation comes out. That was no parachute.
I've been there before. Wow.
Yeah, there's nothing like
no idea about the coffee machine.
We should. I just now, if I could ever remember, I would just want to follow up and be like, first of all, are you still a company? Why was that such a major issue? All right, Lisa, we are going to get to it because there's obviously lots going on, and I want to get your opinion on it. So let's get started. All right. We have a lot going on. Tori, you have a lot going on your phone. What the F is going on over there? Are you running a teen crisis center?
Oh, no, not Monica. No. Sorry. No, I got diagnosed with macular degeneration. So I was just like looking up ChatGPT. But anyway, let's move on. Okay.
Well, we can continue on now that we're all bummed. I told you I was going to hook you up with Tom from Bob and Tom because he had that and he had the surgery and everything, and he came out good for it. So I'll definitely put you guys in contact. Now, Tori, I got to come to you first. You are a political savant.
No.
We both said no. No, you are. You grew up with this. Your dad is in this business, and I wonder, is tonight like your NBA playoffs because it is the State of the Union? Because a lot of Democrats are saying, "I ain't going, dog."
SOTU, that's what we DCers call it, the State of the Union. Yeah, it's a big deal, and it used to be, let's just say, more bipartisan until we got like Marjorie Taylor Greene being like, "You're a liar." Like,
I remember that to Obama. That was
Yeah.
like her first like on camera, like I'm going to be a problem moment.
Yeah. So it got WWE like as we got on and on. So a lot of Democrats will be boycotting the show. Marcy is saying that she is also not watching. I'm sure it's going to be a long, slow ramble. But the biggest things that people are talking about mostly are who's going to be in the audience. So we do know that the Epstein survivors, several of them, will be in attendance. And that would be a big moment for Democrats. They, of course, have them invited on their side. He will have to sit there and face them. We're going to get camera angles, all of that. So what he did is he brought on the men's hockey team to distract from the Epstein survivors. So you're going to see the men's hockey team that just won gold also there. Now, this is the same team that laughed when Trump called and said maybe he should invite the female team that actually also won against Canada. So we're going to get the battle of like the sensational. I don't know. One is actually people that deserve, I think, an answer. And I don't know about the other. Now, the last thing I'll say, and then I'll move on. Nathaniel Johnson says he's a Black man with a BBL looking for a wife. Okay, thank you for that, Nathaniel. The last thing I'll say is the Supreme Court justices are notably always there, and they sit in the front row in their robes. And Trump was asked, because they finally said his tariffs were unconstitutional, that he can't unilaterally do that. And he was ranting and raving about them. And they said, are you going to invite the Supreme Court justices, which would be unheard of if they don't show up? And he said, I'll invite 3. I don't know about the other 3. And to be honest, if they weren't there, I wouldn't care at all. So that's those 3 moments I'm looking to see what happens if I'm sure they show up out of respect for the office, but expect a lack of Democrats to be in attendance. It's a bad situation. So they're trying to make a statement. All right, I'm done. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. I guarantee you Trump's going to try and sit that hockey team in front of the Epstein survivors. Like, oh, who's 6'8" over here? You'll
right.
cover up these 2. Lisa, what do you think about all this? And you have like a different perspective because you do stand up in South Florida and you do stand up sometimes, and I'm sure in front of red audiences, as do I.
Oh, yeah, a lot. I mean, here's the thing. I won't be watching tonight because after this, I'm going to go and do a set. So I'll be working. So I am going to catch the highlights. And the thing is with politics, I have to consume the exact amount that's not going to push me over the edge.
Yeah, that's important. That's so important.
Yeah, because I feel like it's my job in this life to make people forget about this stuff. So I have to know what's going on though, so I have to know just enough, and then I have to like turn away to kind of keep my light, guys.
I think that's important, and that's such a good lesson for people who are overdoing the news, and that's all their feed is, and that's all they're thinking about, that you got to like really keep your sanity. What's good for you. I do also want to say, guys, expect a lot of ad-libbing, because Al today, he went off about a woman in the audience at his breakfast, and he was like, I'm going to pay for her eye surgery. And he just went like off about.
I saw that. Yeah, he's like, I got ripped off. The doctor cheated me. I was like, what is happening?
So expect that. I expect a lot of, and some people call it dementia based. I'm not a clinician, right? But expect a lot of ad-libbing that just goes and goes, and you don't know like when it's going to stop. That has that. Amy Higgins, thank you for saying that about the macular degeneration vitamins, but I have a genetic one, not age-related macular degeneration. So
she would assume.
Yeah, right. So anyway, thank you for that. I've heard that too. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, Tori, we're wishing the best for your eyes. I think the best thing that they could do before we move on it's just like I'm always a big fan of a minimalist approach. I say no Democrats go, and you just in their seats, you just sit all the Epstein survivors. I don't care what you can. There's no way you can talk around that. There's no way that they could shoot cameras around that. And you know, because
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Because if any Democrats there, he can direct his ire at them.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
They're like the one universal symbol of people that have been done wrong at every level of the system, failed at every level of the system, that unless you're a complete psychopath, you don't, what's up, Megyn Kelly? You don't have problems with the Epstein survivors. And I think that just sitting them there, he's unable to control himself.
It's a good idea.
He will not be able to start talking at them and then eventually to them. And then there's a good chance he's not a president in 30 minutes because that train is only going one way. So I think that's the direction I would go, especially since Pam Bondi kind of set the table by refusing to address them. So you're gonna double down on that look and act like they ain't there.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. I think that's a really smart idea. And then like one Democrat shows up and you're like, dude, you ruined the whole thing.
I know, like stop trying to, don't try and be the one here that gets a bunch of camera time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think this is a great time for Democrats to storm the Capitol, live on camera. Let's do it.
I totally agree.
I don't think we'd have it in us because like imagine the three of us where like Lisa would stop to take a call. And she's like, I just got booked in San Diego. And I'd be like, well, me and Tori are going. Then I'd look and Tori's like chat GPTing stuff on macular degeneration. And I'm like, I don't know if I like my camera situation. It's
just you're standing there with horns on.
Yeah, we're just different people. I kind of said it on the show last week. And I said it, but I hadn't really thought about it. I think the difference between Democrats and Republicans is like Democrats, we don't worship our elected members. So like you won't see people wearing like an AOC shirt or like Joe Biden with superimposed on a muscular man's body, like with an eagle on his shoulder. Like that's just not how we roll. If that's how you support your president, God bless you. We don't paint our cars like that, but like they're a lot. And so I think when they come at us, they're like, well, Bill Clinton, we're like, take him.
I know exactly. I was like, then do it. People in the chat are asking if you think he will wear a diaper. I've heard from many people that he often does because of some laxative issues or some other alleged drug use, whatever. But I've heard that he does have digestive issues. And when you're standing there for a few hours, he has been known to let out a toot. He's tooted.
I think Trump it's like a thing that he might wear diapers.
Yeah,
it's kind of confirmed allegedly.
Can I just say about that? You know what? If he is wearing diapers, that is okay with me because that, to me, there's so many real issues that we got on him. We don't need the diaper thing.
Totally.
To let him have that. Like that's not a thing that we should make fun of with him at all, even though it's hard not to. You know what I mean? Because
I think you're right. He should steer into it. There isn't the adult baby community has never been addressed. They talk to the flat earthers. They talk to the birds aren't real people.
The lizard people.
The lizard people. If you go after the adult diaper community, those like remember them? They'd be on Maury and they'd want to be like babied. Like I feel like those people would be like, yo, you got our vote. Yeah.
Brandon said, I mean, it depends.
No, good one, Brandon.
I think he's
that's nice.
That's good.
Yeah. Whoa.
All right, let's get into this one. And this one's gonna get a little dark, so I'm giving you guys a heads up. That's what you always used to do on the panel, Lisa, when we were on DBL, is like me and Tori be being unprofessional and goofy, and like Sam or Tori be like, this one's serious. And I'd be like, because it's gonna be awful. Yeah, all right. So let's get into this. All right. I'm assuming that you guys have heard either bits and pieces or maybe larger chunks about the story. There's a congressman that was sending explicit texts to a staffer. One of her last texts said, "This is going too far, boss." And then she later unalived herself. And what did text messages obtained by ABC appear to show Representative Tony Gonzalez repeatedly asking a staffer for explicit photos in 2024. She died by unaliving herself in 2025. And the ethics process is moving into the next phase. So Lisa, I'm gonna start with you. What do you think the consequences should be for us, for a representative like this? Are you, and I think there are two camps, let the legal process play out, or F that, you need to resign right now. Because don't forget, Al Franken stepped down because of a photo he took on a comedy tour in 1991 where he was doing like this to one of his comic friends. He was a senator. So like, what do you think should happen here? I don't know if there's a right answer, because I don't think the Republicans are going to really move on this.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just be honest. The first thing I thought of was, can we just run them over with a steamroller? Can we do that? Can we just start doing that to people who are sexually abusing people in any way? Can we just start with a steamroller? That's what I vote for.
First of all, I love the Game of Thronesian approach that you took to it. And for as much as that might sound ridiculous, I guarantee you this behavior will be curbed pretty quickly. You know, remember when, what was it, in Singapore, when they caned those Americans for spitting gum on the, I guarantee you there was no gum on them sidewalks that day. I'm sorry, but sometimes you have to, this is what needs to be done. And I just want to give her a name. Her name is Regina Santos Alves. And she will be missed. I'm just looking at pictures of her that are on my screen. I'm assuming this is her husband and young child.
Yeah, her husband actually like texted that she's having an affair with the congressman. And by the way she unalived herself, and I know this is a bit graphic, so trigger warning to anyone who doesn't want to hear this.
We got to talk about this, dog.
Yeah, she literally set herself on fire. So she immolated. Yeah, she poured kerosene on herself and set herself on fire. And that is someone in the deepest of deepest pain that wants to go to that level. Of course, he said things like, I'm a visual learner. I need to see your body. That's why I want these pictures. Of course, he should resign. Lauren Boebert is calling for his resignation. Even Boebert is. We did hear from the Speaker of the House, that's Mike Johnson, and he said it's not time to yet until we have more investigation going on. But it's a horrible thing for her family, for with survivors. It's a trigger, and for just, to me, the way she did it was so.
I was going to ask you, Tori. I mean, first of all, Lisa, great day to come on the show. Yeah. There's days we're talking about whose dress made them look boxy at the Met Gala, and some days it's self-immolation. And I'm not trying to make jokes, but you have to alleviate some of the horror of this. So, Tori, what do you make from that exit that she chose? Because that is a very deliberate decision.
Well, first of all, it is you're on display. So like that's something like with a lot of, it's either a protest. You see monks do this often, like in Tiananmen Square and things like that. But you're the shame of, I assume.
The shame, yes, absolutely.
You're literally on fire inside your body. So the only way to do it is to like let everyone know that you burned it all up. I mean, it's a horrific way, and I feel horrific for her. But imagine if a Democrat had tried this. Like, the police would have been there from the other side arresting that person already. So it's just for Mike Johnson to say, especially during this whole Epstein thing, like, we need to play the investigation out, when look, he can say whatever he wants, but it's an absurd thing to think. And I just,
do you think this goes back to what we've been saying about this Trump 2.0 group of sycophants around him? Is like Trump 1.0, people were dropping like flies, people were, resigning, people were being fired. Pam Bondi humiliates herself in front of the Senate. Nothing. Literally half of his cabinet is in the Epstein files. Nobody's moving. Christy Noem, called an ICU nurse that we all saw, I believe, but allegedly murdered by ICE thugs, domestic terrorists, and that he was there to kill them. Same with Renee Good. And there's been no discipline of any kind.
No, this is a lot of plausible deniability and that I have dirt on you. But let me be clear. They need the votes. That's why this guy is not getting.
Oh, that's interesting.
They need the votes.
It's so gross. It's interesting. Yeah,
exactly. It's like the numbers matter, and he's from Texas, and they need that vote really badly because they're going to get steamrolled to bring that back up, Lisa, in the midterms, and they need the numbers. So it's a horrible thing to hear, but that's, in my opinion, why.
Tori, can I ask you this? And I'm trying to send something to kind of reset our mood. My daughter sent us me a picture, and I wanted to. I'm going to post it as a
palate cleanser.
Palate cleanser, yes. But that's not coming up for a second. Tori, not that it matters, but has it been said that there was an illicit or explicit relationship between this staffer and this congressperson? Have you heard that?
So I haven't heard that there was anything sexual, but all I heard was that the husband claimed and wrote other people she's been having an affair with her boss. So I don't know though if that ever was consummated in any way whatsoever. I just know that he was asking for inappropriate pictures, and she did say at one point, like, you have to stop. So yeah.
And I mean that may have obviously sheer speculation, but that might have been something that contributed to, you know, the guilt of actually not even just being a victim of that, but maybe having given into that at some point or made a poor decision at some point, and then that also doing it, that which also may explain like why, you know, things went as far left as they did.
Yeah, and that's such an abuse of power too. I mean, we all know that, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm like going through the stories looking for something that is not horrendous. All right.
I was talking about Savannah
because now that's where we're going. So
okay.
Sweet, great day, Lisa. Good day. Holy Mother of God. All right, Tori, Lisa, we're going to talk about the $1 million reward. Savannah Guthrie says something. She said the thing that we're kind of all thinking out loud, and that her mom might be gone. I'm sure this is one of the stages of grief acceptance. Savannah Guthrie announced a new $1 million family reward in search of her mother, Nancy Guthrie, bringing the combined total to $1.2 million. She's pleading with anybody with information to come forward, even though she and her family are kind of acknowledging that the worst might be true. So I guess two questions, and Lisa, I'm going to come at you first. Do you think the reward number matters? Like somebody might be holding out until they offer more money. Like, what do you think? Do you think that affects anything? And do you think this is kind of a normal thing with Savannah making a public statement that her mom might be gone?
Well, I think you're right. The you know, I don't know if it's grief yet, but I think that not knowing has got to be such torture that obviously they're like, you know, they're going to be more open to that idea as time goes on. I think the amount of money, that's a large amount of money. And desperate people do desperate things. If there's a chance she's still alive, a big amount of money could maybe bring someone out. I don't know. It's so scary. And I think about my mom, who's, you know, almost that age, how torturous that might be if someone had my mom. I don't know. It's just one big nightmare. And it's weird also to me that this isn't like the number one story, because we have so many crazy stories going on that this isn't like, it's so wild.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like, it's been in the news cycle for so long, Tori. What are we going on? Maybe 4 weeks now, that I feel like there are days where it is the number one story when something happens, and then it goes away for 3-4 days, and then she makes an announcement. So Tori, what do you think? Because at this point, the FBI is never going to say it. I mean, when they get back from Milan, but you know that this is a cold case at this point, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it on the head there. That kind of the first thought everyone was thinking, and the way she looked and the way she sounded and the body language was like, I'm not sure she thinks she's still with us. I grew up with a very sick mom, and my sick mom needed a lot of medicine all the time. This mother needs medicine every single day. If this was a real premeditated abduction, you would have thought that they would have grabbed the medicine, which they didn't. So at this point, when we don't know about her pacemaker, obvious cardiac problems, no medicine, I don't know, it just doesn't feel or look good. I think this is a last ditch attempt to maybe even get some clues. That's a big fish to dangle. Is that what you say? A carrot to dangle?
Sure, yeah.
So maybe
I
she's
don't
trying
think
to get
a dead fish will bring a lot of people towards you.
ooh, let's go towards there. No, so yeah, to me, this is like the last ditch attempt that even if you have information, that you would get enticed by that amount of money. But I think that that's what's going on here. But I don't think she will ever be at the Today desk again.
No, I think that's over. And, you know, there's something very visceral and very human about just like looking at her face and tell that she's never going to be the same person again. I think there's a couple things at work here. One, I don't think that this was done randomly. It just doesn't seem random.
Well, no, they picked her for a reason, for sure. They asked for Bitcoin, allegedly. Like they wanted a rich person. And yeah, I agree with you. But then it was like so sloppy.
It was sloppy. It didn't seem like the kind of guy that does this. Like the people that are in, there's places that are called, I'm not like, there's spy shops where you can go to get paint that like will knock out a Ring camera so you can't see. You don't get there and go, holy shit, they have a door camera. What year is this? And then have to go get a bird's nest. That's not a guy that's working in conjunction with 4 other international espionage specialists. That's it just like, that's what it just doesn't. And if you're going to go through all this, there are so many tech people that we'll never know that have a ton of money that you could probably, kidnappings happen in other countries a lot more often, or at least, you do hear about like this senator's kid got snatched out of a taxi and they gave him $500,000 and they found him down by a river, alive. Like people do, but that's the kind of person that is doing that for financial incentive. Taking a hostage that has a slew that you could assume a slew of medical benchmarks she needs to meet every day. Either you're kind of person that's going to make sure they meet those, which clearly Bird's Nest Man isn't, or you would pick one of the other 320 million Americans. I don't know how many, 20% of us have more than a couple million. So it just, and the amount that they asked for wasn't even it wasn't even like they asked for 50, $1 million, no shade. Like people win that on gambling apps.
Yeah, I do.
Like a weird low number. It just is weird, dog.
Everything about it is weird, including, I really have to say this, and Julia, I agree with you, that Pima County Sheriff, he is just a nightmare and did not show confidence to the family, to the viewers, to the public. And he just seemingly forgot to do the drone search. And he was like, y'all are talking too loud. Like it was like, what's going on here? So unfortunately, that didn't give a lot of us confidence either. But I think we can all say that this just feels really bizarre because there's like stuff that's premeditated and then stuff that's sloppy. And then there's a ransom note, but they didn't accept the money. And it's like TMZ is involved. And it's like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's a weird middleman.
Yeah, it's just been mishandled. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
This is where I go. Cop shows and medical shows too, by the way. When you watch them, it's like everyone cares and everyone's so on the case, and no matter what, they're making it their life's purpose to solve it. And really, it's just not like that.
I think that's so true. That is so true. And he's like, who? What? And I'm like, you're supposed to be the guy that like talks to the public, and it's a bad showing, man.
Yeah, I mean, Lisa, to your point, I talk about that because I got my house broken into and my car stolen from the airport within a year of each other. And the cops never showed up at my house after they'd stolen over $85,000 worth of stuff. I never talked to a police officer after my car was stolen. I talked to an insurance company. And it's just, it's called propaganda, what you're talking about. Just like, and it is kind of like, I guess to reassure the public, like you said, that there is a detective team with some sexual tension and they're going to figure it out. And really, it's just like a cop in an upper class neighborhood that is kind of
doing paperwork.
Yeah, not really. it's so weird. We always look at these communities as like, I want to move my family to this community because there's no crime here. But the problem is when a crime happens, these dudes are playing Xbox and they're like, what the F? They don't have their badge. They forget their phone. You know, they're stepping on the crime. Did you see somebody ordered a pizza and that guy came in and walked through the crime scene and Nancy? It's just like, I don't know. It's almost better for a crime to happen to you in a high crime neighborhood because those cops are in game shape. Those cops, like I've had 3 of these this morning.
Like, I know where she is. I know.
Yeah, sometimes they'll know like that's Mike. He always deals with
that's true.
Yeah, they call him, bring the hat back. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's move on because I think we've had quite enough of that. And let's do one we never, first of all, let's get one of these palate cleansers because good Lord, we know we need it. So let's do this. All right, Tori, and now we're going to talk about, I'm sure, a true icon of you. Tori, we are talking Liza Minnelli.
Oh,
yeah, we are.
Oh, yes.
You can't stop me from talking Liza Minnelli. You can't stop me. Now, Tori, Liza Minnelli, according to this, she had an issue with an Oscars chair. They said in her memoir, it says wheelchair or don't go on. Liza Minnelli states in her memoir that she was ordered into a wheelchair right before her 2022 Oscars moment with Lady Gaga. And that affected her ability to read the teleprompter. She calls it humiliating and heartbreaking. Was this safety? Was this ageism? Or just bad producing? Maybe they should have Michael Dean on the scene. Mm-hmm. If you were Gaga also, how would you have handled that? So Tori, you go first, and then Lisa, I have to hear from you. So,
just really quick. So apparently in the letter she got of what had to have happened, Gaga would not be with her unless she was in the wheelchair. So the person with her said that she needs to be in there because they were scared of her falling, and that would have caused like this crazy upset. By the way, if you don't know who Liza Minnelli is, she's Judy Garland's daughter, and she's an Oscar winner, I believe, from Cabaret. But anyway, she's a Broadway star and a movie star, and she's phenomenal. But she said she felt really humiliated because she was so far. You're really low when you're in a wheelchair, and she couldn't read the prompter. And she said she absolutely was able to stand and be there. And I would be humiliated too if I was told that. I would feel really uncomfortable. And she's a really big personality. You could call her a diva. And I wonder if, Gaga's also a diva. I don't know. It feels sucky that they would make her do that. And if it's true, that makes me feel really bad for her. But Gaga said it was safety because she was afraid she would slip off the director's chair, in which she said she'd be okay sitting in because it's up higher. But I don't know. It's just kind of like condescending. It doesn't feel good when you don't need that to be pushed down that low. But
Lisa, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like just looking at this from a performer's eyes and a producer's eyes, like it did seem like a strange visual just in general.
Yeah, why didn't they build something cool to roll her out in then? It didn't have to be, the wheelchair that they had backstage,
right,
for someone's mom who just needs to be rolled because it's a long walk. Like, it's Lady Gaga. There should have been like a giant pork loin on wheels, that's coming out of like a birthday cake,
Totally. It should have something. And they said that she was going to be in a director's chair because her back hurt. But the last minute, they're like, no, you're getting in the wheelchair. And she felt like she didn't know, or you're not going on. That sucks. I'm going to
totally butcher the name, but wasn't it, maybe it was like a few Grammy Awards back. Was it Joni Mitchell that they put her in like a
chair,
a throne?
It was a throne. I was going to say a throne.
Remember what she did? Like, was that her? Am I guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And I just thought it was like a really cool way that they presented, because I don't think that she could stand, but it wasn't just a black wheelchair you get for somebody that has alcohol poisoning at the Mirage.
Yeah.
Like that is, I have seen that wheelchair. The last person in that wheelchair was Tara Reid at that hotel. That was that wheelchair where she slid out of it.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah. Well, this is a side note. This isn't even on the rundown, but I don't know. Did you guys see? Because I had a little comment about this to Sarah last night. I showed her. I was looking at TMZ, and Lisa Rinna, who I do have some history with, said that her drink was allegedly spiked at the Traders premiere party.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that, Lisa?
No, I didn't.
Tori, what were your thoughts when you read that?
You always
know. That's how I feel.
You want to believe, but Lisa Rinna is someone that sometimes exaggerates and doesn't always tell the truth. Also, her husband was there. Look, maybe it is true. Maybe it happened and I should eat my words, but I just feel like I can't always trust Lisa Rinna that she just didn't. I don't know. I want to believe. I want to believe.
By the way, Tara Reid also said her drink was spiked. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And her name is Tara. Why are you calling her Tara? And it's Christy Noem, not Noam.
You've been sitting on that one fuming.
Gotta know him.
So, yeah, Lisa, what do you think about this? Because Tori is saying how I'm feeling, especially as a dude with a daughter. I'm never like, she didn't get her drinks, but I know a couple of homegirls that told me about their experience with getting their drink spiked and that they couldn't feel their legs. I mean, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And so I don't poo-poo that. But Lisa, why do me and Tori feel like, oh?
because it's hard to convince us of things that we are pretty sure we know.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way?
I hope she.
But we don't want to not believe someone's claims, but also we're like,
yeah, like what incentive would an A or B list celebrity be to be like, I also just inked a 3-picture deal with TriStar, and also I'm spiking drinks in my spare time. Like, that's not the crowd that like normally would spike drinks. Totally. I'm sure there was a lot of cameras there.
And maybe she's coming out before a story that like maybe she got I mean, I would feel bad, but
that's smart.
It could be that, or as Carol says, for attention, or it could be true. And I'm eating my words, and I apologize because I stick up for women, of course. But yeah, it's Lisa Rinna, so I don't know.
And I think Lisa and I are extra skeptical because we came up in the era of people being removed from comedy shows for being shit-faced.
Yeah.
And then writing a review or arguing the staff. Oh, I guess you can't laugh in here. I kicked me out for laughing. How many times have you heard they kick me out for laughing, Lisa? I would say I'm in the tens of thousands. Yeah. Because that's what comedy clubs do. They trick you into coming in, and then when you laugh once, they kick you out. That's their business model.
Get out of here. What do you?
Yeah, they don't want you staying and buying drinks. For? That's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm a little skeptical.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. Shout out to my girl Lisa Rinna. She is a lot of fun. I think that's one of those things where your PR team could be like, let's get ahead of this, but you don't understand that kind of story that you might not care too much about has affected a lot of women that are probably fans of you and that you know and never told you. And so that's one of those sensitive subjects where somebody writes a letter like that happened to me.
Totally.
And like, you shouldn't just throw that around.
You don't want to weaponize that. You don't want to use that. But
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I'm a very naive person, so I always believe anything anyone says. But yeah, I should be more skeptical of things. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. We may you live in interesting times, and we are definitely doing that.
I'm easy to fool.
All right, let's do this. All right, Tori, we're talking Met Gala. Yes. Yeah, we are. The Met Gala dress code this year is smooth criminal. No, I wish it was.
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great? Instead, it's fashion is art. So prove it. Is that the whole thing, or did Michael Dean add that?
I don't know, but I thought it was just fashion is art. Oh, he added that.
Okay. Yeah, that's something you say before you tell girls to get on that runway and work. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. So Tori, what do you think about just like fashion is art? I feel like that's like something you see in like a neon sign when you go into a brunch place where you're like, oh, the eggs here are $22.
I
Like
totally
it's
agree
just
with
like
you.
it's a very pretentious.
I think though that you're going to see a lot of like sculptural things, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be exciting. There was one that was like religion or like the church or something, and some of them I don't love the theme, but I kind of dig this because you're going to see. And Beyonce, by the way, is the co-chair. So Anna Wintour always picks 3 people to be, or 2 to 3 people to be the co-chair, and Beyonce is one of them, and it's going to be unbelievable. So expect a lot of like big things, sculptural things, painting like things, capes, volume. It's going to be like, digital art. Maybe somebody will have something moving, 3D. It's going to be a lot of that kind of thing. So I think it would be cool.
Lisa, would you want it to be more specific? I think like it just means that you could do you could like literally do what Banksy does, or somebody just like, remember the guy that didn't somebody like tape something to the wall and he's like, that's art. Like art can be anything, which is I get, but also like, I want to see a little creativity.
I think that's what you'll get here. What do you think, Lisa?
I think exactly what Al is saying. It'd be nice if it was more specific, because we already know that fashion is art,
Sure.
but I think that they're meaning it in a way like paintings. I think that's what they're trying to say. I could be wrong. Whereas, of course, we know art can be so many kinds of art, and fashion, yes, is art, but they're saying fashion is paintings. I don't know. Am I wrong about that?
We'll see
it's
about
art,
that.
so you can't be wrong. And that's where I kind of like want a little bit like, I'd rather somebody tell me I'm wrong than everything is like, it's up to your opinion whether you're wrong. Like, tell me, give me a grade.
Did you see the sculptor who sold an invisible sculpture for like thousands of dollars? And I was like, I'm an art history major. My mom worked in the museum for 25 years, but like, that's really bad.
Do you want to have a deeper conversation about art?
I mean, I could, and I could
it's a way to launder money, because that's all it's for. I mean, but it is. It's a okay. If I say that painting behind me is worth $5 million, and some guy pays it to me, but he's kind of paying me for something else.
I'm sure that happens.
Oh, you're sure that happens? I would like to know when it doesn't. I think that all of this.
There are real art collectors that love art and will spend on art. And again, art is whatever you make that you think that's worth it. And whoever
who loves that? Money launderers. How much is this mouse worth? Normally $31. Al, I'm going to give you $8.6 million. And it's going to go into a shell company.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's
a real part of it. I mean, that's a real part of it. So they say, so I've heard in the world, to hike up those prices, because that means that I'm now I'm worth more because I own this art that has a high value. But saying fashion is art, yes, we know it's art.
Yeah,
that's like saying fashion is clothes.
Yeah.
People are flesh and blood. Like, you're just saying a statement that it already is that. So yes, it can be interpreted anyway.
All right. Well, I wanted to make sure that we had enough time. Lisa, I wanted to have you on, 1, because I love you, and 2, because you have a special coming out, a stand-up special that is going to be available for the peoples, for the colleagues to grab a hold of. Now, is it out yet, or when is it dropping?
It's out. Yeah, it just came out. It hot off the presses, everyone. It's on Prime and Apple TV. It's called A Cute Crisis, as in like adorable.
I love it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. It took me forever to film something, and I love Al and I. Oh, we go back so far, like you said, but we love comedy for the simplest part of it. At its heart, it's thinking of something weird and funny and saying it on stage. And to me, I never needed to record it. I love that it disappears in a comedy club, a live show. And I filmed this thing because thank you, Patton Oswalt, for really encouraging me to do that. I toured with Patton, and he really pushed me to go, all right, I'll do it. And I never even put clips online, Al. Tori, oh my God, the comment section on my clips. Okay, I had a clip go viral already. I've only just started putting my stand-up online a couple of weeks ago. One went viral.
Oh my God.
That's great.
The comment, everyone in the comment section should be arrested. They are so funny, though.
Was it very sexual? Like, what do you mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so sexual. But you know what? When we started this show today talking about how I started at a time when sexual harassment was so normal that I think it steeled me for this moment of just like, oh, actually, this doesn't affect me at all because this is nothing. Like, this can't hurt me at all. So here we are. I choose to accept it all as compliments.
There you go. More engagement. It's good for your feed.
Absolutely. Acute crisis on Amazon and Amazon Prime and Apple TV. That is huge. And just like Lisa, I had this crazy flashback as you were talking about how like coming up, it kind of like encased you in steel. I remember you were telling me that you had somebody that was, I don't want to say stalking, but they were showing up a lot. And so you informed the club with a picture, do not let this person into the club. Lisa, what happened after that?
I forgot about that. I was getting so many messages from this guy, including naked pictures. And this club had security guards. And I showed them a photo of this man. And I said, he might be at this show. Just please keep an eye when I get off stage. Literally, I got off stage and that man, sure enough, beelined toward me. And where I went into the hallway right after my set. He beelined towards me. The security guards followed, doing their job so far. But then the guy takes out a camera and goes to the security guards, would you take our picture, please? And they're like, sure.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is ridiculous. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. So there's a picture of me with him like, hey.
It's like, I think it kind of goes back to the propaganda thing that because all we do is see movies of the bodyguard and they like step in the way of the bullet and like, your daughter is my daughter. And really it's just two guys that are probably high, looking at a waitress's rear end saying, yeah, I got your back, comedy lady.
True.
And that's how, like, honestly, and I'm not trying to speak anything into existence, but I've often thought that like comics I'm lucky, I'm glad nothing's happened, but like we're talking about potentially volatile things to, you don't know who. It's not always just politics. Sometimes you just hit a weird nerve. Have you ever just mentioned something casually? You'll be like, so, I stopped shopping online and somebody's like, shame on you. And you're like, what? Like, so everything affects one person. And I'm surprised, like, there haven't been people that have gone after comics. We've seen, especially with the rise of Trumpers in audiences, people throwing things more. But, and I'm happy to see this. Have you ever had like a really bad situation that dealt like with a political angle that you were taking?
No, I'm not political on stage. So I think starting comedy in Florida, I'm used to performing for, like you said, like all kinds of audiences. And to me, the difference is if I'm performing for a more, let's say, progressive crowd, I feel like they're really excited to see a woman come on stage. And when it's not, I feel like I can kind of feel that the crowd is tighter and they're more like, what is she going to say? And women aren't funny and it's probably going to be, whatever it is. And then I get the comments afterwards, wow, a woman's never made me laugh before. So I kind of think like, oh, that's really great. So I don't get political, but I did have a show where someone did pull a gun and I had to talk them down from shooting.
Why am I just hearing this with 54 minutes to go? I would have led with this.
Oh, yeah.
When was this and what happened?
I'll give you the quick version. So it was a show.
Take your time.
It was a show that I was running in Florida at a barcade. And it should have been perfect for comedy. But it was one of those situations where they had their regulars, and their regulars were at the bar and not expecting comedy. And we're on stage, with a whole bunch of comedians who are saying whatever they want. Free speech, a comedy show, we're encouraging them. And there was a comic who said some triggering things in his set, and it really got to this guy. And it was kind of, do you remember Matt Z, Al?
Of course, it's one of my favorite
Matt Z
people.
looks like a Viking, you guys, and he's this really like a legend in South Florida comedy. So
Brilliant
Matt Z is now up on stage, and it was the comic before him who said some triggering things. If you weren't paying attention to what he was saying, you only heard the key words. That's what this guy was hearing. Now Matt's on stage. It's a whole different comedian. The guy was just so mad. He walks by the stage and he's like, "You suck." And Matt was like, "You suck." And poor Matt was just talking about wetting himself. The guy wasn't even listening to him. So the guy throws a bottle at Matt's head. He ducks. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'm producing this show. And
you guys, Matt is a big Matt's 6'2", 6'10". He's a big dude.
Huge guy.
Huge.
And I'm thinking, oh no, this is my show and it's a disaster. So I'm like, let me take this man outside, because he was already near the door. The stage and the door were next to each other. I sort of go, hey, why don't we talk about this outside? And I kind of walk out with him, and his car was parked right by the door. And I said, look, hey, I know you're a regular. Why don't we talk about this for a minute? These are my comedians I brought in. I wanted them to talk about whatever they wanted to talk about. And he's opening his door of his car. He got a gun out of his car, and he turned around, and the gun is now here. And he goes, I'm not talking, I'm shooting. And he wanted to go back in to the place, and I assume shoot up the place. And Al, you and I were both teachers. I went into teacher mode, and I said, listen to me. I understand being this angry. Let's talk about this. And I just was like, let's humanize him and me. I go, I'm Lisa.
Were you having an out-of-body experience? Like, had you processed the danger that you were in?
Nope. I was so present, Al. I was like, this is, honest side note, this is like my fantasy, being able to talk down a gunman. Oh, give this to me all day.
Amazing.
So I did. It took me about 30 minutes to calm him down. No one knew what was happening. All of our comic friends are like, oh, Lisa, who's also hosting the show, is just gone. We'll just continue the show and not check on her.
Where did you see her? That crazy guy? They both went outside. She's fine. Who's next?
She's fine. Yeah, they're like, this is fine. I wanted to get him away from the door. So I said, let's walk and talk about this. And I just kept going, like I'm with him on his side. I'm like, I understand being so mad. I understand being mad at the comedian.
The tariffs are working. Yeah.
I go, it's my fault. I chose the comedians. I told them to say whatever they wanted. I go, you tell me what you like in comedy and let's talk about it. And I really became his best friend in that moment to go, let's walk away from the door. Let's de-escalate this. And so we did. We went around to the side of the building, 30 minutes of me explaining, this is me. And he was like, it's not you. It was that guy. I go, no. It was me. I told them.
How old is this guy? Like, what's his anger level?
30s, full rage. He was ready to empty that gun into the audience and the comedians.
Jesus, Mary Joseph. That's insane.
Yeah, it was really, really scary. But 30 minutes later, and I was this man's friend. And I said, look, we are going to have to walk back where the comedians are probably now standing outside. I said, but I'm with you. And you know what? I go, let's end this night with being friends. I'll introduce you. I'm like, you'd be surprised. They're nerds like you are. This is at a barcade. Everyone likes video games, whatever. I'm like, you might be surprised you have more in common, with these guys, than you might think. And
I don't know how to de-escalate like that. Jeez Louise.
I don't think too many people do.
Oh my God.
So when you go back to the car, because I would be worried that the comics would be now outside like, man, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
You know,
so
and I'd
guess
be like,
what?
oh no.
That's what he was worried about, and me too, quite honestly. And I said, look, we're going to end this being friends. I'll introduce you to them. So now we're walking, and sure enough, they were all standing out there smoking. So now the show's over, you know, and I go, he goes, oh, they're all right there in front of my car. I go, it's going to be okay. I go, I'm going to introduce you. So I yell to the guys from far away, and I'm trying to shoot it out of my eyeballs, like,
Yeah.
just be cool. I'm
Yeah.
like, guys, this is Tom. He totally is cool. I'm doing this at the guys, and we're going to end this being friends. So let me introduce you guys. And thank God that they didn't know anything about a gun at this point. And they're like, oh, hey, Tom, what's up? Yeah, I'm David. I'm Matt. I'm, you know, all the guys. And, but he's going to be headed home now.
Yeah.
So I finally got him in his car. He drove away, and I went, he had a gun.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So that's,
It's like as soon as he left, just all the strength in you kind of.
What a teacher you are. That's such
Oh
a
my God.
yeah. Al, I thought I told you that. I'm sorry I never told
No.
you that. Yeah.
crazy.
That is so crazy. And also not only that, just believable. I mean,
Yeah.
there is just a group of people that just think, you know, my Second Amendment right allows me to take care of any injustices I see. And I don't like the way they're speaking. They never talk about the freedom of speech one, but it's like when somebody that's strident that would not only leave the place, but go to his car. And once he touched the gun, to not go, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
To then be like, now after I turn the gun on this 5 foot tall woman, I'm going to go back. He's actively in the process. At no point did it seem like he's like, oh my God, please don't tell. Like he just,
Yeah.
wow, Lisa,
Yeah,
you saved some lives, girl.
I think so. I mean, and the joke in question was that comic's own story about being molested as a kid, and it just felt to me that he just heard those key words, and it opened up a wound in him. And
Yeah.
I really did have to be on his side to understand that and to connect with him and talk him down from that point and in that moment.
What a brilliant way of doing that. What a brilliant insight, instinct.
Thanks.
Unbelievable. That is
100% from teaching, because I taught middle school,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of troubled kids, and my heart went out to the troubled kids, you know, and someone had to have a heart for them, you know. So in that moment, I was that version of Lisa again.
Totally.
And I can switch to that at any time.
That's really good of you. You did save lives. That's unbelievable.
Thanks.
And
if you ever have a gunman, that's how to do it, folks.
That's amazing.
You could just think about the trigger of just like him having suppressed whatever happened to him for years.
Yeah, that's what
somebody's on stage working through their trauma with humor, but him not understanding that. And so his only mentality is, I'm going to shut down the source of whatever is saying that. And like that, the human mind is amazing, but also the heart that you had, girl, is just like legendary.
I thank you. I mean, that is the heart that I have. And even when we talk about politics, I do have a heart for people who are the way they are, and whatever that means. I do see them as that little kid in my class. And I go, why is this person this angry at the world?
Yeah.
And it helps me to perform for all kinds of audiences. It really does. As it becomes dark behind me, by the way. I have so much light coming in at the beginning of this.
I was like, she's getting darker. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'll just say this, just to your point, Lisa, I'd never really thought about that, but those kids that are the hardest, the ones that have authority issues that are so surface that even when you're trying to be friendly, it's, you don't, you know, everything you do is like, they want to pounce on it and they're super angry. But once you crack that, like you have their heart forever, because most people go, get out of here, detention. But when you just go, all right, yeah, you called me a B in class.
Yeah.
But you're not going to the office. We're gonna talk here.
Yeah, for real.
And I'll wait, because you're gonna crack before I will, bro. And once you get that person, it's just, well, my dad left, and you're like, there it is. that's what's been the last 2 years of you being suspended 4 times.
Yeah.
Is that anger, and like getting to that is very uncomfortable. But once you crack that, you're able to talk a person that was about to change the course of 50 people's lives, and able to just send him home, and hopefully with a new perspective. And you can see more of that perspective on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. A cute coincidence.
Nope.
Tori, this is where you or my girlfriend Sard needs to step up, because like I'm gonna get the first 2 words. I should have mumbled the third one. Super cutie. A cute coincidence. Yeah. So Lisa, we'll be plugging that all week.
Thanks, Tori. And thanks, Al.
You were wonderful, Lisa. Thank you for joining us and taking the time. You were lovely. It was lovely.
Lisa, you were amazing.
Tori, I felt like I knew you already because I've seen you so much.
Oh, thanks. That makes me feel good. Yeah, everyone's saying come back soon, Lisa. So please do. Maybe not on a day where everything was bad.
Yes, we are going to do a fun day, because we have done it all, from self-immolation to standoff with a gunman. Jesus, Mary Joseph.
We can handle it.
Yeah. Hey, girl, I love you. You guys follow Lisa Correa. Check out her special on Apple TV and Amazon Prime. Colleagues, you know how we do. We love y'all. Please tell a friend to tell a friend that it's us again. Tori, until we see our colleagues on, I'll be here tomorrow, but Thursday, you guys be safe, be good, and watch that presidential.
Or don't.
Or don't. Where I'm not.